When we look at treaty rights, and really what we should be talking about in this instance, they'll be bringing up Treaty of 1752. Treaty of 1752, which is a peace and friendship treaty, was entered into, and that's why we're all treaty people. Both sides are a part of that. It would hold peace and friendship. But in the Treaty of 1752, in the fourth paragraph of it, it talked about a truck house. A truck house is very similar to a trading post, and it was enshrined. But within the truck house, it was a place where the Mi'kmaq commerce could take place. But in that same paragraph, it defines the commerce. It defines skins, feathers, fowl, fish, and does say other materials that are appropriate. So I think that's really what's at odds. The two sides that came together in 1752 to agree on the terms of that treaty would not be in agreement on something they never even foresaw.
Now, Section 25 recognizes the 35, so that's important to you. And the other thing about the wording of Section 25, they can't derogate or abrogate from the true meaning of the treaties or your rights. Okay, so they're all always connected, and which means they can come in and reinterpret by opinions any other ways, including judges. They can't come in and reinterpret what was your Aboriginal and treaty rights. So what does that? Where does that leave us? Means only we can do that. So it's a job that our people yet have to do.
Cannabis originated in Asia about 12,000 years ago. I think about 12,000 years ago in Asia. It didn't come to Canada until 1930. For someone to conceive of selling a product like that in 1752, when it didn't come to Canada until 1930, I can't see it being contained within that treaty. But the other piece of that treaty that's very important is Section 8. And it's the conflict resolution piece. And what it says is, if this is in question, then it needs to be handled within the courts. And that's what needs to happen. The Cannabis Act was brought into power back in 2018. But we really haven't got into this stage of discussion about what is right and what is not. Are they treaty rights? Are they not? Within that treaty, which is speaking specifically to the commerce of the day, the materials of the day, this is an extrapolation, in my opinion.
They're saying that their treaty rights are being infringed upon by the seizures of this. What would you say to that?
The best answer to that is perspective. Today I'm going to talk to you about Project Highfield, which was an investigation in 13 different illegal cannabis stores within Southwest Nova. We had over 65 police officers on this investigation. In total, we arrested 21 people. Organized crime preys upon all sorts of different people. We also had a number of illegal cigarettes that we took because we were on the premises. We weren't in an investigation for the illegal cigarettes, but when we see something that's against law, we have to seize it upon detection. And that's where the partnership with Service Nova Scotia came into play. And you'll see a number of different firearms that were seized throughout the course of the investigation. We're putting a price tag on everything that we seized at about $1.25 million. And in this case, we have four primary Indigenous reservations down here. And it's those four groups that are at the forefront of this, but they don't want to be there. I'm very proud of the work the team has done. We have smaller teams here, but we were able to surge together 65 people to effect this type of investigation. We're going to do a qualitative analysis of these products to find out exactly what is in them. How harmful are they? Is there stuff in there that is toxic? Prior to going in to execute the search warrant, we would not tell anyone, and that's a standard regardless of executing the search warrant. And it's operational security. If we indicate what we're going to be doing, there are different things could happen. It could put police officers at risk. Members of the public could come to be onlookers and be put at risk. Product could be stolen, evidence could be lost. And that would be the same as for pretty much every search warrant we go to. So within Southwest Nova, we have tremendous relationships with the 4 nations that we have, the primary 4 nations. Each one of our detachment commanders has relationships with them and meets with them on a regular basis. Very much the same way that we would with the town council. We identify what needs they have, what they're looking for, what their concerns are. So I've only been down in Southwest Nova since September 23rd. But I know from talking to the different detachment commanders that we're very well received down here. And we're going to continue to engage with them. We are their police and they like us to be their police. So the execution of the warrants came as a surprise to all the chiefs. And I haven't spoken with any of them. I have heard that the communities are happy that something's being done, because there's far too much drugs. They're running rampant within communities. But I hear that same comment from other citizens that aren't on the reservation. I think the biggest complaint that I heard was of vehicles that weren't from the reservation traveling into the reservation and disrupting the communities there. They're small communities. Bear River has 334 people. That's on and off. Glooscap 309 people, on and off, and Annapolis 304. Okay? They're small communities, so that traffic flow is probably the biggest thing that they're seeing. But I guess the better way I can answer your question, I haven't heard anyone upset about what we've done.
Protesters gathered today by the McDonald Bridge in response to RCMP raids on cannabis stores in First Nations communities across the province.
The Indigenous communities, they're being exploited. They're being exploited by a group of people who really don't care for them, but it's a means to get their product to market. It's a means to get their product to market hiding behind a treaty that is not theirs and wasn't intended for them. That type of bullying needs to be held to account. And it just, frankly, I was aghast. I arrived in Nova Scotia from Alberta in 2016. I was at that point responsible for operations in Halifax. When I arrived in 2016, I saw Tasty Buds, which was selling marijuana, and we didn't have dispensaries like that other places where I'd been. So I entered into a similar investigation back then, because it's organized crime. And organized crime needs to be stood up to and needs to be stamped out. The courts will define and articulate what is right, what is wrong. They will define whether or not there is a legal right or a livelihood. I have a hard time with the Peace and Friendship Treaty in any intent on any person back in 1752 to say, we want you to sell products that could be harmful to our friendship and our communities. I think that's something that courts need to decide.
And then we received a press release from the Micmac Rights Association earlier this morning about allegations of officers where they, for example, almost breaking a man's arm, 3 officers tackling violently, arresting a pregnant woman. Another one, a 15-year-old was using the washroom. They seized his phone and forced him to wipe himself in front of the officers.
My son was in the home, and yeah.
Pretty much, I was using the washroom like pooping, and they didn't say anything. They didn't say they were the police. They just kicked open the door and pretty much took my phone and watched me wipe my ass. Yeah, oh good.
Do you have any reaction to those allegations?
So what is very fortuitous for the RCMP is when we went into every one of the searches, all of our members were wearing body cams. So we have the truth in video that we can look at and we can address.
You guys are stealing off treaty land!
The officer in charge grabbed me.
No, don't touch me! Don't touch me!
And slammed me into my car. I was pregnant. I told them to stop hurting me. I told them to stop touching me. I told them to let me go. 3 male officers physically forced me into their vehicle.
Stop it! Motherfucking Jesus Christ! That is cutting my butt!
Hopefully it doesn't come back to bite us in the end, but we'll simply go from there.
There's no one that went to the hospital as a result of this investigation. There are no complaints that came into us. There are no cert referrals from abusive force. We interviewed everyone we talked to, and they were very respectful. We asked them how they're treated, and there were no complaints. But and I do know a couple of those matters that you bring up. But the body cam footage tells a very different story, and that's something that could be very important for the RCMP going forward, because lots of times we do get into that. You said this, you said that. This says this. But I want to also add, many times the people that bring up allegations are not lying. When the police execute a warrant, people are in a state of stress. So your perspective at that point, your memory at that point, is very different than if I walked into a coffee shop in uniform. I have not received any complaints in regards to what you said. My staff sergeant that led this investigation has reviewed that information, and there's nothing to start an investigation.